Okay, good morning, everyone. From wherever you are watching this training or you're joining us for this training, I say good morning to you over here. It's 10 and 6 past 10 a.m. in the morning. I say good afternoon and good evening to all of you all. We started this training on Wednesday with an overview of HTML. I don't know if any of you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Good morning.
All right.
Claire, we can hear you.
Good morning, Mr. Joshua. Good morning, Mr. Endurance. I think there's some other persons that are yet to join. So today we're going to be spending more time because it's more like a practical class. So I don't know if any of us are with our system, because I want us to try it out by ourselves, because we're going to be coding, we're going to be writing some script. We're talking about attributes, unordered lists, and ordered lists, and then some tables, how to set up a table. That's the agenda for today. So without not wasting our time, I want to go quickly to the to what we have today. But before I go there, let me quickly do a recap of what we discussed the last time. We talked about HTML, and I said HTML is a markup language. The full meaning of HTML is hypertext markup language, which gives you a platform to write your scripts and then makes your dream come true. That's in regards to web development. For each script you want to write or any program you want to write, you need a language to use to write that that program, which HTML stands to be that language that we're using to see how we can accomplish the tasks of web development. We discussed about some tags. We have opening tags, closing tags. We see that they're all variables. The attributes that you need to open, you must have to close it, because if you don't close it, you won't get the right result that you want. I haven't talked about that. We talked about some editors that we need to use, which I gave you some editors. So you can use Atom, you could use Bracket, you could use Visual Studios, you could use Notepad++, or you could even use Notepad that comes with the system. Then we'll talk about some HTML tags. The HTML tags, we'll have the heading tag, which is H1 to H6. We talked about the link. We talk about the paragraph, which is the symbol of P, and then the links is A. And then we'll talk about the image, which is IMG, which has the attributes is the IMG, and then the name and the source. And then we looked at bold, we looked at italic. We all did that in our last class. Today we're going to be looking at the attributes of HTML. The attributes of HTML. From our previous class, what we wrote some coding, we gave some script. Those scripts are classified into attributes. We have the attributes, we have the name and value. Now let me quickly explain what from my screen. You can see that the image source is the name. Why? The value is what defines the image. It's what brings up the image. It's what enables the image to show in the web page. That's the value. So if you put an attribute of a name, you must define it with a value. So the value enables the attribute works perfectly fine. For instance, let me go back to our previous work. Let's see how let's see what we did. Let me come over here to text. I said, from here, you could see that that's an attribute, and then there's a value. The attribute is the image source here, which I just highlighted. And then the value is the image, where the folder where that image is. Now, without this value, the image is not going to show. Remember, when we did a test, we did not include the value, and that's why we could not see that image. Maybe I might have to try this again so we could see. Without the value, you're not going to get the right result you want. So let me take up, let me get rid of this value. Let me leave it first. Let me open the web page. Let me open the web page. Okay, so this is the web page. This is what we did last on our last class. So why you can you can see this image, it's because the value has been defined. Now, if I take up the value away from the attribute, you're not going to see this image. So for instance, let me go back to our code editor. Let me come over here. Now let me take over the value. The value is the image itself. The image folder is the value, and then the image name itself. Let me take this up. And then let me save it. So let's go back to our browser. So we're right here on our browser. Let me refresh. So you can see that the image is no longer displayed because the value is not defined. Please, can we all see that?
Yeah, I can see.
I don't know if the others are here. Please, can we all see that?
Yes, yes, we can see.
So the value of the script enables your work to come faster. The value shows what you are doing. Without the value, you're not going to get the right result you want. You can see that on the screen, there's a broken image. You know why the broken image is there? Because we've already given it an attribute of an image source. Now, if I remove that attribute, you're not going to see the sample of that broken image. Let's take, for instance, let me go back to our code editor. Let me remove the attribute. Let's see if we're going to see that broken image. Let me go back to the code editor. Please, can you all see the screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, let me go back here. I just did something. Now we have this broken image. I want to remove the attribute. If I remove this attribute, you're not going to see that broken image anymore. So let me go back to the code editor right now and see if I can remove the attribute. Let me remove the attribute. I've removed the attribute, and then I'll save it, and I'll go back to the code. I'll go back to the web browser, and then refresh it and see. Let me refresh and see. Did you see that the image is no longer there? Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, we see that the image is no longer there. That means the attribute is not defined and the value is not defined. So for this image to display, we need to put in the attributes, and then we need to put in the value. And I'll go back to my code editor one more time, and I'll give it an image source. And then the thing we give it an image source, and then I put the image. I write the value of that image is Texas JPEG, and then I'll save it, and I'll go back to the web browser and see if we got it right. So I'll refresh. So we are back on track. So this is just a brief definition or an explanation of what the attribute does. The attribute comprises of two factors, that's the name and the value. So for each script you are writing, you need to put in an attribute and you need to define the value. Now, without the value, you're not going to get the exact result you want. Without the value, you're not going to get the exact result you want. I don't know, for some of us that are watching this training with our system, can we try this and see? Can anybody try it from his end and see? I don't mind, we could wait.
Okay. Okay, hello.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm hearing you, Mr. Joshua.
Okay, I have a few questions. Sorry.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I can hear you, sir.
See, I have I told you I did something the other time, and you know, the thing at the first time it didn't work, but I later tried it. It later
Can you
worked.
share your screen? Share your screen. Share your screen with us. I can stop sharing so you could share your screen if you want to show something. Share your screen. Share your screen.
Okay.
Mr. Joshua, are you using your laptop for this tutorial?
No, I'm using my mobile phone, but my laptop is here with me.
Oh, okay. That means you cannot share. You can share. So let's see. I can barely see the screen. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let's see. What's your question, sir?
Okay, the first time I tried it, the source, for the image source, I added the name of the folder, then the name of the picture .png, but it didn't show until I have to copy the image link direct from, you know, the up of the something from the folder that have to consist of, you know, C dot the user dot HP desktop stroke, all those long links before the name of the folder and the image, before the name of the image itself .png, before the thing would work. So I don't know if there's any other short something that I did add. Don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
No, I honestly I can't get your question. So what's your question?
Okay, what I'm trying to ask is that is there any other way that I can do it? Like looking at the way you did it now, it's very short and the link is not that long. But when I tried it, for it to work out, I have to copy the image link.
Okay, first and foremost, I understand where you're going to. I understand what you're trying to say. Like from our previous class, I taught us how to input an image. You need to create a folder for that image on your working file, the folder for your files. Create an image and then copy the image you want to put on that folder. That day, what I did was to create a folder.
Okay.
Let me share the folder with you. Please, can you see the screen?
Yes.
So this is the folder, and I have an image folder inside. Now, the image folder is where I put that image you can see. So this is the image I inserted on the image folder. So what I do is that another thing you need to note is the file type of that image. For this image, the file type is .jpg. That's a JPEG file. So you need to look at it. Take your mouse, pointer to the image, and then you see the item type is JPEG file. So what I did was to go back to my code editor. So I put in the attribute, which is image source, and then the folder, which is the value, and then the type, the image type, and the name. That's why it was quite easy for me to get that image. I don't know if you understand. For instance, let me take off this code again. Let me do it again. So let me go back to the web browser. You can see now that we don't have any image on the web page. Please, can you see my screen, Mr. Joshua?
Yes, I can see this.
Now we don't have an image. Now, for me to insert an image, for me to bring up an image on this web page, there are two things you need to do. First, we can put it directly, but I would not advise you to put it directly because when you are developing a website, you need to define your folders. So you need to create a folder for that image. So that's what I did. What I did was to create a folder. Let me show you. I created a folder in my working file. The file, there's a folder called test. When you open the folder, you see my text.html, and then I open another folder inside the folder with an image name. That's where I paste the picture that I'm going to put. So I'll go back to my text editor. I click on the text editor, and then I want to add an image. Number one, I need to add a source. The first thing first is to put in the attribute name. The attribute is img. And then I define it. I put in the source.
Okay.
So now the source is, after the source, I put in the variable, the value. The value is the folder name. I put in the folder image Then I now write test dot jpg. I save it. I go back and see. So can you see now the image as displayed?
Yeah. Okay. That text, is it the name of the name you use it to save the picture?
The text, yes, is the name I used to save the picture. Let me go back to the folder and show you. Look at it.
Okay.
The name is test.
Okay.
So you put in the name of that image and then the file type. Now let me go back to the attributes. So please, do any of us have question on in regards to the HTML attributes? Mr. Endurance, please, do you have any question in regards to the image attributes, Mr.
No question yet.
Okay. Tech Sojourn, please, do you have any question?
No question.
All right, so I'll move on to the HTML table. I want to move on to the HTML tables. Now, this is where I need us to do this thing together. So if you are with your system, please, I need you to set up your code editor so we can do this table together. Please, can you all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So please, Mr. Endurance, are you with your system?
Yes, I am with them.
Have you set up your code editor? I want to explain the HTML table so we do it together.
Well, I'm to before use it. I think the one that maybe you take us through on maybe.
I want. Please, if we're ready, I'm ready, so we can move on. So I want to show you, this is the table that we're about to create. Please, can you all see the screen?
Yeah, we can see.
So we need to create a table like this. But before we create a table, I need to explain how to get to this place that we are. So because we are going to be using table when you are developing a website, you might need rows and columns. You might need one or two things to entitle your website. Maybe you need a price list. You need a list of items. You need a table. So let's learn how to create a table using HTML. So please, if we're ready, I'm ready.
We are ready.
All right, thank you. So the first thing first, you need to understand the tag. For a table, you need to insert the attribute, which is table. And then the tables are divided into rows and columns. We have the rows and then we have the column. The attribute for rows is TR. They are divided into two. The rows are divided into table data with the table data is a TD for an attribute. Now, please, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, hear you.
Okay. Like I said, the tables are divided into table rows with an attribute of TR. The table rows are divided into table data with an attribute of TD. Now, a table row can also be divided into table heading with the attribute of TH. Now, HTML table allows web developer to arrange data into rows and columns. That's what the table does. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you.
All right, so I would love us to try and see if we can define this table. Let's see how we can develop this table. Remember, I said that the tables enables developers to create a lot of things. So the first attribute you need to define is the name of the table. So I'll go to my code editor. Let's try this together. We go to my code editor. The first thing first is that I've created a file here. I added a new file called table.html. This is a new file called table.html. So you need to create a new file and name it table.html.
Can you do that again? I didn't understand that.
Okay, what I did is that I created a new file, table.html. So because I want to write a script for table, I want to see how I can develop a table. So you need to create a file for it. Name it table.html. All you need to do, okay, all you need to do, open your code editor, save it as table.html in any directory, in any of the directory on your computer.
Close this. Can you close this editor and launch it from beginning? Let's see.
Okay, let me do that again. Okay, so I want to create a new file. I come to my editor. This is my editor. Let's forget about this. I create on file and I create on a new file.
Okay.
New file. So I will input the name. I just put table. But let me just write a script and just say HTML and then close the tag. So I need to save as. I'll save this as a works. I'll save this as a table on any folder I want. So it will ask me to save. So what you need to do, you need to save it in a directory. I'll save it in downloads. Download is a directory. So I'll save it as table.html, table.html, table.html. By the time I click save, the folder will open. So the folder has opened. So this way I can now write my script. Now let me go back to that folder I created. Let me go back to the file I created. Let me show you where the file is. Let me go back to my folders. I'll come to download. Look at it. Please, can you see my screen? Can you see the file I just created?
Mm-hmm.
It's here, table.html. So anything, if I write any script, I'm going to open it through here. For instance, let me go back to that table.html. Please, can you all hear me?
Is it taking the Google Chrome because Google Chrome is your default browser, or that is what it takes normally?
It's taking Google Chrome because Google Chrome is my default browser. It can take any form of browser.
Okay.
So let me come over here. Let me go back to my code editor now and see. Let me add a file to the table. and then I save it. Let me go back to the browser. Let me see if this is it. Let me go back to the folder and click on table. And go back to that. Let me open the browser and see. So this is what is on the table folder. Please look at the directory. It shows table, and the file name is table while the directory is downloads. So, but I'm going to get rid of this. I am training. I'm going to get rid of it because we're not going to be using it. We're going to be using, we're going to be writing a script for tables. So I'll just come over here and remove everything I put here and then save it again. Then I'll refresh the browser from my end. There's nothing there anymore. So please, if we are ready, we can write the script for the table. Please, if we are ready, we can write the script for the table.
Okay.
So please, can we start? Are we all open an editor? If we are ready, please let me know so that we could start.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Mr. Idiola, please, are you ready?
No.
Okay, so do we need to go? Okay, maybe I'll wait for like 5 minutes. Let everybody be ready so that we can do it together. Mr. Joshua, please, have you set up your folder, your file name and your folders?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let's wait for Mr. Endurance. I don't know who's Starlove. Mr. Starlove, please, are you with us? Mr. Starlove, are you with us?
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes, sir,
So
I can hear you, sir.
I just completed downloading the Visual Studios, launching for the first time. So these are the options I have. Clone a repository, open a new project solution, open a local folder, create new project. So which one am I supposed to click?
Please, sir, can you share your screen with me, sir? I can stop sharing. Let me stop sharing.
No. I'm not using. I'm using a phone. I'm using a phone.
Okay. No problem. So, please call the options again, sir.
Is okay. It's opened for the first time because I just downloaded it. It says
Okay.
clone a repository, open a project or solution, open a local folder, create a new project. I should click create a new project, right?
Yes, sir. Create a new project, sir.
So should I select the project type, cloud console, game, Internet of Things, web.
Please, I'm not hearing you, sir.
Am I supposed to set these variables? They have languages, platform, and project type.
Once you install the Visual Studio, sir, it will come up to ask you the type of theme you want, whether dark or light. So you
yes,
select...
I've already done that one in dark.
Okay, fine. So all you need to do is, for you not to be confused, sir, just open the Visual Studio itself, close it and double click on it. Then you close it totally and double click on the icon so that it will open. Then you click on new or open a folder. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, sir.
Okay, all right.
So first and foremost, you need to create a folder on your desktop and name that folder after the maybe you name it training, and then inside the training create a file .html, create a file like table.html inside that folder. Okay, please, do I need to show you how to do that so that we can just do it quickly, sir?
Okay, no problem. You can go ahead.
Okay, let me show you how to do that, sir. So, so let's assume this is my, so please, this is my desktop. So all I just need to do is just to create a new folder. I will right click on this, I'll right click on to create a new folder. Please, sir, can you see my desktop?
I'm seeing your desktop.
So I'll click on new folder. And then I'll name that folder, let's say training. Once I name that folder training, I'll open the folder, I create a file. I right click. There's a place, click on new, click file. Text document. You name it table.html, table.html. That's all. So you go back to your Universal Studio, Visual Studio, rather, not Universal now, and open that folder. You see that table.html. I cannot do that right now because I need to minimize. Please, sir, do you understand, sir?
Okay, wait, yes, I'm doing that.
For instance, let me just show you let me share my Visual Studio for you so that you see that same file. So this is my Visual Studio. I've opened it. Now click on file. I'll say there's a place that says open a folder. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
So there's a place that says open a folder. I'll just click on open a folder. And then I'll go to that folder and create a training. I'll look for that folder I created on my desktop, training. I named that folder training. So I'll just click on the, look at the training folder. I'll click it and then select a folder. The folder will open. Do you want to save the changes made to table.html? Just click yes. The folder will open by itself. Let's wait for it while it opens.
Okay. Okay, all right, no problem. I'm already doing that.
Okay, so it has opened.